Good evening, everybody. Welcome along to the second round of Season 1 of the iRacing UK Discord MX-5 League. You join us here today as we head to Australia to the Oran Park circuit, where we'll be taking in the 1.218 miles short circuit that's very sort of treacherous and bumpy. I'm Tim Cox, and today I'm joined by Anthony Nurse. Anthony, how do you think the drivers are going to fare today?
Well, they're going to have absolutely blinding time on this short circuit. The weather's going to be hot, definitely going to be bumpy, and the actual surface itself is going to be very, very dusty. It's going to be like driving on ice. And again, thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to this race so much. It's going to have lots of drama. We've got 22 cars on the track. Hopefully it's going to be an absolute blinder.
Exactly. So I know it's very tight on the infield here, Anthony. Where do you think we're going to see the majority of overtakes done across the track?
Well, you've got a couple of options. I think definitely it's going to be Man. Man will be probably a corner, but a dangerous, risky move to try and do it at Man. But you want to really do it after you get past the start finish. You really want to be obviously slipstreaming and right behind them, and then you obviously want to pull out to the left and make sure you can brake as late as you can. And there will be mistakes, there will be people going off into the grass if they can't brake in time. And of course you've also got Rokiel corner, am I saying it right?
That's Rocario. This is a close choice. I'm sure you upset a few Australians there.
Sorry about that, guys. Roconio corner, I probably said it wrong again, but that might be a chance to obviously line yourself up, like I said, and then obviously get the slipstream right behind them on the start-finish line. And then, like I think Man is going to be the one, but again, it's going to be such a risky chance to dive in on the inside there and get that line. And then obviously you've got Foster's Dip, I believe. Is it Foster's Dip?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah, that's turn 2, a tight sort of chicane, and it'd be interesting to see if the drivers can try and squeeze through and capitalise on coming out of Man, which is turn 1, and maybe slot it over up the inside or the outside of a slower car heading into the chicane of Foster's Dip.
Yeah, and if they can do that, if they can get right behind them, then that can obviously probably set them up for Momo corner. And then obviously we got the O'Brien Aluminium Dogleg, I believe. Is that corner number 4?
That is, yes. It's the world's longest name for a corner, quite possibly. But it's a very sort of tight chicane there, which you head just over the crest of the brow of a hill there. I don't know if there's much of an opportunity for overtakes there, is there, Anthony?
No, I don't think there is going to be. It's going to be very risky. So they're going to have to, obviously, if there's a mistake, a car in front of them makes a mistake, that's going to be their only best chance of getting past them. But like we said, we think it's going to be the start finish. If you can get right behind them, and then obviously the best option is going to be Man. But again, that's going to be absolutely risky. So we've got 22 hungry drivers out there. Anyone could win it. It's anyone's race. It's going to be an absolute madness. But I'm looking forward to it.
I think it's definitely going to be the competition of who's going to be last of the late breakers down into the first corner. But without further ado, we've got our drivers pretty much just lined up on the grid. We've got our pole sitter, Nuri Luca, and let's see if he can have a lot of success. He's been running well in practice and convert a first place to a victory, on pole position to a victory. So we're just joining the drivers now. And the green flag's off and they're away. Great start by Luca. And there's also Keith Sharp seems to have had a good start as well. As the drivers head through down into turn 1 as they come up to Man. We've got Luca, he's in second place there. He's got Keith Sharp ahead of him, who's had an absolutely blinding start. As it looks like a lot, just looking in the background, a lot of the drivers seem to have negotiated Man turn 1 well. As the leaders now head up to turn 3, Momo corner. Very tricky here, Anthony, isn't it? Where it's on cold tyres.
Very. The first lap, they're just going to have to make sure they get used to the track and get used to the tyres and get the tyres up to temperature. As like we said at the start of this race, it's just going to be, it's like driving on ice. So they have lap probably 5 when the tyres really start kicking in and they probably get that grip and confidence to take that dive on the inside of Man. But we'll see. As obviously Keith Sharp has done a fantastic job on the line. and but Murray is all over the back of him there.
He's all over the gearbox, as it looks like in the background there. Peter Jones just running wide, and Tom Dale not quite able to capitalise. He got it up the inside initially as a bit of a tank slapper there from Dell as he tried to negotiate Foster's dip, and it seems to have settled down, but he's literally alongside him there. He's not been able to capitalise on that and bring the car back up alongside, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, Peter's now he's dropped him a little bit, and he's obviously on the back of Murray now. So hopefully that'll give him the breathing space to keep on pushing forward. As you can see, some of the cars are really set up really differently. Some are leaned to the right, some to lean to the left. As you see that camera angle, it's going to be absolutely fantastic and fascinating to see what happens.
I think we've had in the background. Let's see if we can cut to this. I think Thomas Berling has had a bit of an incident. Yep, there we go. Little trip off round onto the grass, but it looks like he hasn't collected anyone, luckily, as he's rejoined. But he's being absolutely swarmed by everyone there, and he lost yet another place. I think he lost it to Stephen Hilton there, as he starts to fight his way back up through. They go side by side there. That's incredibly tight and incredibly brave there by Thomas Berling. As they come into the last corner, still side by side. You can't separate these two at all, can you, Anthony?
No, you can't. Thomas is all over the back of him, and he's not giving it up. Yes, he did make that mistake, but now he's got to regroup and recover, and now he's got another car number 9. We've got David Stewart trying to slide it up him in the inside, but Thomas is obviously fighting that off.
Definitely. So, off camera, it looks like for P5, we've had Alan Levers manage to get past David Gill. Let's see if we can cut back to that replay. And textbook move there up the inside, last of the late breakers, as you mentioned earlier, Anthony, into turn 1 man.
Yeah, and that's like we said at the start. That's going to be the opportunity. That's going to be the only pass. And Alan has done a fantastic job there. But he's still pushing him hard. Car number 2, David Gill. He's not letting up, and he has to really stay close to him to make sure he can stay right close to him for the start finish to make sure he can have an attack. So this is going to be interesting. We can see what's going to happen after they get round this corner. Is he going to be close enough? We'll find out. We'll see. Yeah,
so he's head out onto the start finish straight now. Carrying a bit of damage in the background there. The front right corner, before speaking to the drivers before the race, Anthony, everyone was really struggling with the last corner, Recaro corner, and getting a bit too early on the power, just not being patient enough and then clouting the wall on the way out. But we'll cut back to our leader. He's currently Keith Sharp. So we've got Keith Sharp coming around here onto the start-finish straight. He's got Murray Luca right behind him there. There's only 6 tenths separating the two drivers there, Anthony. Looks he's a bit too far behind to try and mount an attack there. As they get incredibly close there. Murray's really onto the...
Keith Sharp.
He's right
on the grass.
Oh, let's go side by side there into Foster's dip, but Keith Sharp's managed to survive that one, and Murray's not able to quite pull it off there.
He's dropped further back as well, but that's this track. You've got to be really concentrating. We know it's a short track, 46 second lap. Your concentration has to be on it at all times, and we're only on lap 4 or 5 at the moment. And there we are, Keith Sharp making a slight mistake. Touching that left side, touching that grass, and if you touch that grass, you're going to slide all over the place. As we've got a fantastic camera view going into man, turn 1. This time it's a lot better. It's a lot neater, a lot tidier, and that's a fantastic by Keith Sharp. He's held it together, and he's still got P1.
Just going to cut to Stephen Hilton, who's having an epic battle here with Josh Wilson, all over the back of Wilson. And Wilson doesn't seem to be quite having an answer for it. He looks to stick it up the inside there, and they've made contact already. That's coming around at Momo corner as they come across O'Brien now, the O'Brien chicane. And Hilton will be looking to mount an attack here on Wilson. And they've got 2 cars in front of him. We've got David Gill and then Alan Lever. Alan currently out in 5th place there. But looks like Hilton's not been able to capitalise from his really close combat with Wilson, and they've managed to survive another day.
Well, well.
Oh,
What's happening now?
there. We've got Leather just trying to come around the outside there. There's someone dips in and out. A little bit of issue with connection. We'll ride with Wilson. So yes, Al Leather's still out in 5th place. We've got David Gill followed by Josh Wilson in 7th and Stephen Hilton in 8th place. And literally, there's less than a second covering these 4.
Will-to-will action, that's what we want to see. We knew we'll get this. 22 cars on this short track. This is what's going to happen. Concentration is at the paramount. Paramount?
Yeah, paramount, definitely. Definitely, it's absolutely imperative as well. Coming into this, as it looks like Wilson's going to have a look up the inside here, coming down to man turn 1, but can't see. He's managed to force Gill wide there as they now go side by side. But Gill's got the inside, so it looks like he's got it cover up, and he lives to fight another day and doesn't lose a position. But Hilton's now right onto the backup of Wilson, and they're literally it's hardly anything between them. As they now come across, so we've lost. I think that was Hilton's dropped off on the back there. No, he's still in there. Someone else in the background who was running wide.
This is just allowing David Gill to run away now. He's running away, getting out of danger, getting out of the slipstream, and just really piling on the pressure now. Oh, as car number 14 loses a wing mirror.
It's
straight into the road.
Going to be a collection of wing mirrors there down at the last corner as Wilson has yet another look up the inside here. And he's had an accident. That's where Gill... No, they're both off the track at turn 1. Oh, no. What did happen there? It was that... Joshy just... went up the inside, maybe got a bit too brave, didn't realise it was there, and now that's cost him dearly as Josh Wilson is dropping down the field like a stone. I'm not sure whereabouts he is. He's dropped all the way back there. So unlucky there, but it's what happens in wheel-to-wheel combat. So we now cut to Tom Dell. He's at the back of this pack, and there's literally... So we've got Keith Sharp in 1st place, Murray Lucker in 2nd, Peter Jones in 3rd, as... Sharp there as well. He's looks like battling, and can Tom Dell capitalise here where these two are fighting in front of him? We've got Tom Dell in the yellow car there, and he's all over the back of Jones.
Yeah, Tom Dell, he's absolutely fast on this track. He's very disappointed not to really get the pole position. As we all know, he's very quick around there, and he's really, really harrying both of the front 2 guys at the front. And he will be there somewhere about... as obviously he is pushing Keith hard, and wanting one of them to make a mistake. And will they make a mistake? We'll find out. What do you think, Coxie?
Well, Tom's really, really good at just being consistent and just sitting there and biding his time and just almost, poking his nose out into the side. As someone spun. I think is that Murray or is it Keith Sharp? Oh, and they've collided. And Tom's got involved in Keith's accident there as he falls now down through the order. Oh no, Tom and
engine problems. Engine.
Oh, Tom's got to get towed to the pits there. That's absolutely devastating for Tom.
Nothing he could have done there, as Keith spun out, touched that grass, and smashed into. And obviously Tom had nowhere to go, and he smashed into him. So unfortunate, but this is it. This is racing, but there's a long time to go yet. It's a 60-minute race. A lot can still happen.
So we've got Murray Lucky now, who's come out the absolute victor in this. He's now pulled away an over 2-second gap in front of Peter Jones, and he's got this where this train has now been split up, where Dell and Sharp have had the coming together, and look, he's got a clear track in front of him. He's got a clear track behind him, so he'll be looking to put the hammer down now. Obviously, he qualified in pole position, and looking to put in some good lap times and extend that gap out over Peter Jones, it's already extended out by around about half a second already, Anthony, which is a brilliant result over such a short track, lapping around about the 46 to 47 second mark per lap.
He's absolutely dominating. He's got no cars behind him really. He's got the whole track in front of him. Obviously, he has to negotiate through the back markers, but I'm sure they're going to be fine about it. And as you can really see now, he's really feeling comfortable, staying on the racing line. There's no mistakes, and he's absolutely doing a fantastic job. All he has to do now is concentrate. He's still got a lot to do. He's got to make sure those pit stops are correct, and obviously make sure he's got enough fuel to finish the race.
So it looks like we've got Dallin Sharp here rejoining after their incident at Momo Corner. And just coming up, put them all the way down the field now. So that's put them in amongst car 19, which I'm just having a look to see who that's. That's Murray. So Murray's already come round and managed to lap them.
Yeah,
it shows definitely how costly it is around here. If you have an accident and have to get towed to the pits, just how much it can affect your race massively. So what will?
It's quite funny that they're all on the same track position as they were when they left it with Tom and
yes, pretty much come straight back out line astern. But obviously Murray now a full lap ahead of these two. Well, let's take a look. We've got Thomas Burling there out in a bit of fresh air. Looks like after he's missing the obligatory right-hand wing mirror where he's had a bit of a trip into the barrier. We've got Timothy Cox ahead of him there as they head down to turn 1. Not too far apart from each other, but it looks like Cox is just pulling a slight gap on him there as he looks to chase down the pack in front of him.
He's doing a nice steady job at the moment, keeping it on the island, keeping it on the surface. Hasn't been a lot of damage at the moment that we can see, as all the cars are still going around, doing a fantastic job. And who have we got there? Car number 14.
Yes, that's Chris Sanderson there. And he's just coming under a bit of pressure there into the last corner. It's so key, isn't it, Anthony? Just to ensure you get a nice tight line and maximise your acceleration off the back of it. As just in the background there, it looks like Burling was trying to mount a bit of a challenge onto Cox. Let's see if he can come alongside into turn 1. No, it's probably just a little bit too far back to try and have a look and just pressurise Cox there into making a mistake.
Yeah, he's too far away. He's too far away to make any chance of going down into that turn 1 into man. But he must now. It's important that he stays close to him throughout this whole lap, so he can have a little sniff at trying to get in front of him. But like I said, Cox is doing a fantastic defending, as not letting him go past and being nice and steady, and that could frustrate Thomas. But he's got to be really, really just smart and just bide his time. But we'll see as he comes down to the straight. Is he close enough?
Let's find out. So just head out. Well, let's see if we can ride with Burling. That'd be a brilliant shot to see. There we go, on board. Just want to say thank you to TrackCams22 to run these excellent camera angles. Well worth going and checking them out. Their website out. Absolutely brilliant camera packages that they put together, and they very kindly allow us to use here at iRacing UK Discord community, allow us to use them for our race coverage. So just heading across the O'Brien aluminium dogleg down into Recaro corner as Burling's run right there, and let's just go allow Cox already pulling out the gap. He's just walked away from it there, Cox.
He ran too wide. And now Cox has extended his advantage in front. Now Burling's got to make it up all again. So let's see if we can do it.
No.
Hugging the inside there. He's hugging it.
He's got a much better line than Cox coming through there, but Cox has just extended his gap. And it looks like he's now pulling away very comfortably. A little bit unsettled there from Burling coming through Momo. Yeah, Cox is just pulling away.
In front of them, so that might give Burling an encouragement to squeeze up as they come towards the traffic. So that'll be interesting if he can squeeze up to him. He's run a bit
too wide there.
He's hugging to the left. Oh, he's letting a back marker through. He's letting Nerfy go through. He's had a massive accident on the start finish.
So yeah, that's this. So we're on with Mark Nurse now. Sees coming through the field. His next target will be Cox. This after Burling later through. Let's have a little check in with Josh Wilson, who after his earlier accident seems to be driving okay now. He's picking up a bit of speed. I think that's Granberg in front of him there. He'll know those two are very, very competitive, and he'll be looking to close up the gap on Granberg. And obviously, where they're good friends off the track, possibly work together to pull themselves further up the field.
That'd be very interesting to see if they can manage to do that. As he's still always hit the wall again.
Oh, it's so easily done, isn't it? Just coming out of coming out of Recaro corner, and a lot of people just so keen to get on the brakes, accelerate too early. So we've got Stephen Hilton just popping into the pits there for that'll be for his first stop. We've got various.
Too early? Too early for a fuel stop?
I was just about to ask you exactly the same question, Anthony. I think it'd be interesting to see how many of the drivers either risk it and go for a one stop, which is potential with a bit of fuel saving. As I'm not sure that was in the background. I think was that Burling just going a little bit wide there. No,
yeah, I think it was. I think it was.
Or if they play it, if they play it a bit more conservative and go with the two stopper, where they're not going to run the risk of fuel saving. They could put the hammer down every single lap. And how do the tyres wear here, Anthony?
They wear quite well, actually. They're not as bad as the first race in Tsuba in round one. Round two, obviously, at Oran Park, temperatures are actually relatively the same, but it's the track surface which is slightly different. The wear, you could probably get away with not changing them at all. And I believe a couple of drivers didn't change them at all and they just refueled. So they run 70 laps on one tyre. But the front right is probably the major one, which will start to degrade and you will start feeling your braking go. So your front right will be the one that you really want to change. But overall, the other three tyres should be pretty good, pretty consistent.
Right, I'm going to put an edit in here now, mate. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to flick it back to...
Go on.
Hold on, which lap are they?
What lap are we on now?
I'm not sure. We are...
21, isn't it? Lap 21.
Hold on, I can see. It
says lap 21, I think. I can see at the bottom.
Can you? No, it's car number.
No. Lap number. I'm looking at the lap. It says 21 as well.
Oh, yeah, it does, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, what a daisy dickhead. Right. Let's press...
That's gone quite quick then, really.
Yeah, when you commentate it flies by, mate. Right, let's go to... Let's go to 21.
So we can mention that we're on lap 21 now.
Right. Only purely because what happens is it buggers up my ordering, you see?
Yeah.
And the thing starts thinking, this still says Keith's in the lead, but I know it's fucking Murray at this stage.
Mario's in the lead from the rest, from the moment they crashed. That was it.
Let's go. TV2. 20. Well, we were just cutting to Paul, weren't we? Let's see if this then sorts itself out. Hold on, can I go? Of course, because that then jumps the end of the race, doesn't it? That's why it's going live.
Yeah.
Right, let's go. 21. Let's go.
What lap is that? That's lap 20. We've done that.
Yeah, let's go.
Lap 20, pull to the side. Just go to lap 25. Jump it a little bit or skip it. So it was on 21.
Yeah, they ain't going to fucking know, are they?
No.
Right.
It's only highlights.
Alright, let's go.
Or you could jump into 30 or 23. 23 will do.
There we go. So lap 23, and we've got, by the looks of things, Lostos heading into the pit lane there. Be interesting to see where he comes back out into the field. So we're just currently looking at Peter Jones here, who's sort of after the earlier coming together of Dell and Shop, he got very lucky and managed to come through the pair of them, and has cemented himself a very comfortable second place at the moment behind Lucca, who's just pulling away constantly from Jones. And Anthony just doesn't seem to have an answer for him at the moment.
Yeah, that could be a combination of things. Could be his tyres. Obviously, it could be fuel. He might have to come in and pit. Could be lots of different things. And some of these guys are good at looking after their tyres, and he might be, or might be just reserving and biding his time. He did start on P3, which he's done a fantastic lap time to get himself there, and he's been very consistent. So I think he's just biding his time, and hopefully he can start pushing on as we go later into the race. Well, we're on lap 23 now, so he's done an absolutely fantastic job. And he's just got to get past the back markers now.
Yes, Paul Losto, he's just come out of the pits, so he'll be on ice-cold tyres, and I know the drivers are a bit concerned, especially with all the the up and down nature of Oran Park, all the elevation changes. Just they were, how tricky it could be coming out of the pits after replacing your tyres.
Definitely, they got to obviously warm them up for at least 5 laps. So, like you say, look, he's dropped off as well. He's dropped off of and let Peter Jones go ahead, and he's just dropped off because obviously he's gone cold tyres. So he's really got to get them up to temperature. Car number 21.
Yes, it's so tricky. Paul, one of the more longest serving members of the Discord community that we have. So he's really consistent, careful racer. So I know he'd be frustrated. He seemed to qualify quite well and was in good spirits ahead of the race. As I think that's Dell there, head round, come out the last corner. Let's have who have we got? Let's have a quick look at someone we haven't spoken much about is.
He's run wide there. Paul's run wide.
Let's see. We'll cut back to him as he has run wide. He's lost another place there.
Yeah.
As car number 24 comes past him.
He's doing a good job though. At least he's got to get those tyres up to temperature, and he needs to stay on the black stuff.
Okay, we're going to cut to Andreas Granberg. He seems to be locked in a little bit of a battle here at the moment. Josh Dell seems to caught up to the back of him. Remember earlier, they were quite close by one another, and obviously where Josh had his accident earlier on, he then dropped back, but it looks like he's caught up to the back of him, and could they now potentially work together to move up through the fields together?
I'm not sure who's in front.
So we've got Granberg is the car at front, then we've got Josh Wilson, and then I can't quite see who that is behind him. Is it Stephen Cox? I can't quite catch the number as they sort of keep flying by here.
And rubbing it off against
rubbing
the paint off. As you can see, car number 37 in the background there.
So it's car number 8, which is Craig. So they head now down as Wilson's gone up the inside. He's got the move down on Granberg, and Craig Krosny looks like he's going to capitalise here. He has. So Andreas has not lost one place to Josh. He's also lost the second place to Krosny, and he's now dropping even further back. Slight damage on that front left of that car.
Definitely got mugged by both of them. Definitely got mugged. Went down that dark alley and he got mugged. Now he's got to really, really try and stay on the back of him. Can he do it? It looks like he's just dropping off still.
Yeah, now we've got Craig looking to mount a charge on Josh Wilson there. Let's see if we can ride with Craig. That'd be a good shot as they just closing the gap up now onto the back of Wilson.
Now he needs to stay close to him as we go through.
Not the best of lines through the corner there by Josh Wilson. And Craig's just showing him the inside. Let's let him know I'm here. Just try and put him off a bit. How difficult, I know it's quite challenging to keep looking in the mirrors when you've got someone behind him. Just how difficult, Anthony, is it around Oran Park?
It's very difficult because you're not only fighting the cars around you, you're fighting your own car because it's so slippery, and all the corners just come at you fast and thick. And as Craig pushes it down, and then Joshua goes defensive, hugs the inside. It's going to be very, very tough for Craig now. But again, late breaker as we jump on board. Oh, he's run wide.
Oh, could Craig get up the inside? They're edging side by side here. Could go absolutely any way as Wilson's managed to get away with that one. But while they've been battling, J.S. Granberg, he's managed to close right up to the back of them where these two have been fighting hammer and tong for first half of the lap. As they now come.
He wants his phone back. I think he wants his phone back.
He does, doesn't he? Don't know about just losing his phone. I think he lost his keys and his wallet as well in the same corner. As Wilson mounted the corner quite highly there. And now we've got Craig, he looks like he's going to get past him. We'll cut to, we'll go back to Andreas. He's going up the inside of Wilson. And he's overcooked it! He's overcooked it! He's taken out Craig! He's trying to go up the inside of Wilson and Andreas Granberg.
We'll have to have a look at that.
He's gone onto the marbles and
he's overdone it.
And poor Craig's got caught up in somebody else's accident then. The complete innocent bystander. Oh, Craig will be absolutely devastated. But
I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. He's had a bit of a shaky race, but he's trying to turn it around now, and that's all he needed was a punt from behind. Nothing he could have done. He was in the right place, but he just brakes. That could be tires. It could be lots of things. Overdriving the car, and it's just basically taking another driver out.
Now, in this series, Anthony, obviously we run with the dust and marbles and not automatically cleared like you experience in the lower Mazda categories of obviously rookies and also production class. Looks like Granberg managed to get onto the marbles there a bit potentially, where obviously that wouldn't be there normally within Mazda races. Maybe a little bit, so you can really see the dirt on the outside line there from that brilliant camera angle. And
that's true, but these drivers want to drive at the higher level. Obviously, this is a good standard to start, and they've got to get used to the marbles being on track. And like you said, he might have went on the marbles and just outbroke himself and smashed straight into Craig. Big story there.
So we've got Murray Lucker there. He's just coming around the first corner, and he's had a really, really quiet race. Just where after that earlier incident between Sharp and Dell, he's gone completely untouched. Peter Jones just hasn't seemed to have had an answer for him at all. The gap back to Jones is, around about 6 seconds now.
Oh, he's running away with it. I think he's ahead by a lap already. He's in a class of his own, and this could take. If Murray can take this will take him top of the charts. He'll be sitting pretty at the top if he can stay in first place. I think he's got all the confidence to do it. He's driving nice and calmly, and it's all about the average drivers now. Can they catch him? I don't think they can. What do you think, Coxie?
I don't think at all. I think so. We just watched Dal trying to mount a challenge on Paul Simmons there. Paul Simmons seems to have a relatively quiet race, just been gradually chipping away there as Dal's all over the gearbox of him.
Dal was recovering after that crash with Keith. He really wants to get past Paul as soon as possible because we know Dell's pretty fast. But,
and he's up the inside. There's Paul's cursing. The commentator kicks in. Poor Paul Simmons. He's made a slight mistake and Dell's capitalised on it and he's disappeared up off the road in quick fashion as he's managed to clear him there. Paul will be after you later there, Anthony, for that one. And it was so unlucky. I think he just went a bit wide and all Tom Dell needs is just half a chance and he's gone.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll start squeezing up to the other drivers. Paul's just now got to remain confident, keep going and making sure that he's hitting his braking marks and regroup as the car comes out of the pits. And who do we have there? That
was, I didn't quite catch that one. That is car 14, which is...
Chris Sanderson.
So that's Chris Sanderson. So... Paul's now chance is that with Chris on icy tyres, can he close that gap and get past him. That'll be the interesting one. He seems to be not being able to quite get onto the back of him yet, where Sanderson's managed to scamper away. Be interesting to see whether Sanderson actually changed tyres within that pit stop.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. At the moment, the cars are all over the place. You've got some got out of position, going into the pits.
So we've got second place here, just coming into the background there, just coming into the pit lane. So that's Peter Jones in from, as you see him heading into the pit lane from P2.
So if he changes tyres.
Oh, this will be the interesting one.
Yeah, how long it is. Let's get a stop.
So he's in. He's currently in 25 seconds into the pit lane as the right side of the car goes up. What we fully expect to see. Probably changing both the front and the rear rights, as it doesn't cost you too much time penalty. The Mazda's
He's only done the right. He's only done the right, hasn't he?
Yeah, the Mazda's interesting compared to like you see in the F1 where it will lift the front and the rear of the car up. The Mazda just lifts the left side up and then the right side of the car as he heads out, and that's
a quick stop.
That was a quick stop, so that's cost him around about 56 seconds in the box. But in comparison, where we've got David Gill behind him, he's been in for just over a minute. So really quick stop there by Peter Jones. So hopefully
we're halfway through it at the moment, aren't we? We're halfway through. The drivers now coming in.
So that's Murray Lucker there. He's heading to the pits. So he's one of the last ones there's a few others joining him. Josh Wilson's joining him and Ian Winchester into the pit lane. So they head down. There's such a slow pit lane here. It's just 50 kilometres an hour. Be interesting to see how many of the drivers after the race have got caught up with penalties for speeding in the pit lane.
Yeah, as we know, there's no pit assist. They have to do it all by themselves, which is another skill in itself. So that'll be very interesting. Like you said, Coxie, if anyone will get a penalty for it. But it looks like everyone's done a good job at the moment.
You've got absolute flurry of activity in the pit lane. We've got Lucker, we've got Wilson, Simmons, Winchester, Timothy Cox, Stuart Williams, and Andreas Gramberg all in the pit lane.
I think he's been in there a few times, though, Andres.
He has, yeah. He was caught up. I think he was caught up a little bit earlier on, and unfortunately, he's just dropping down through the order after his coming together earlier with Craig as well. Let's just check in with Craig and see how he's getting on there. So he's heading out around the back, coming out through the last corner, down the pit straight. And I think, he's just caught that right. So he's not going to get caught up with any of the back markers. It's quite interesting, the pit lane exit there. You can see a car in the background. It comes right as the cars are coming across the racing line, coming out of Man Corner, turn 1. And it can be a bit...
Are they faster coming out of there?
They are. It's quite a bit faster by the looks of things. If we've got someone spinning there, that's... Sanderson spun there. That's...
Great.
It's absolutely shame for him because he was running. Chris Sanderson was running well, as he's just struggling to get some grip onto the grass. And it's so tricky to try and work out where you can rejoin here, where everyone's coming through so thick and fast, and with lots of momentum. And there's a lot of blind crests and corners that you come round. So it's just all about the recovery. It doesn't look like he's damaged the car at all. So.
Looks like he just spun and hit the fence there.
Merely kissed the barrier at worst. As we've got Alan Lever, Thomas Burling, I think that's the second time Burling's headed to the pits, and Rollins currently into the pit at the moment, just taking their stop. You were saying, I think. Gramberg's only had a couple of stops, hasn't he? We were just talking about him earlier. So let's have who have we got? He's running quite closely. Let's check in with Tom Dowell. He's in a little battle here. He's got Timothy Cox behind him. And I think that's Thomas Burling ahead of Dell. And we've got is that number 6, the pink car?
I believe so.
That's Chris Rollins. And we've also got Josh Wilson, who's catching right at the back of them. Is brilliant move by Dell there, and Burling's headed off for the infield. So unfortunate. Oh, he's cut across the grass massively there. Leapt. They'll be getting a slowdown penalty for that, definitely. There's no way on earth he's getting away with that one. I think it's so tricky though. As Cox now just showing up the inside of Dell there, just trying to intimidate a bit, going on into the brakes, unsettle him. As we've got Wilson's making a bit of progress as well in the background there. We'll just try to see if we can just try and cut to him. So he's battling with a couple of cars there.
Luca coming through, isn't it?
That's Luca, just siphoning his way through the field like a hot knife through butter.
Absolutely fantastic from him. Look at him. Confidence is blooming. As we've got Josh Wilson all over the back of Rollins.
Let's see how he can capitalise. Can Burling potentially follow Wilson through on trying to... no, Burling's headed to the pits again. He's been in and out of the pit lane like a fiddler's elbow tonight. He'll unfortunately be destroying his race after qualifying so well as well. He finished, the top end of the table. We've got a spinner in the infield there. That's car 36. By the looks of things... So easily done, though, especially with the cold tyres. There's people just coming out of the pit lane.
I think that's car 38.
I think it is, isn't it?
Ian.
But Ian Winchester there. Well, what we'll do is, Wilson and Rollins we'll just check in on Ian Winchester there. Someone we haven't really covered too much tonight, unfortunately.
He's a newcomer, Ian, and so he's obviously his first race. And he's absolutely, I think he's done a good job. He's been quiet and consistent. And it is hopefully, he said he wants to finish really not at the back. So we'll see how he gets on. But he's doing a fantastic job as he comes down the straight. He's done a great job in his first race. It can be quite daunting going into these Mazdas, but he's holding his own. He's doing a good job.
And one of the beauties of this league, though, is that there's a whole range of abilities up and down the field. You've got obviously the likes of Sharp, Dell, Luca at the sharp end of the grid, and John Edwards, who isn't with us tonight, unfortunately, couldn't make the race. But then there's almost leagues within leagues when you look all the way down the field, little groups who are of similar ability who battle it away, for whole races. I think that's that Burley having a little kiss with the wall again.
Now it's interesting, like you said that, like in the race, there's different categories. You've got, like you mentioned, your John Edwards, who's missing from today, and your Tom Dells and your Keiths and obviously your Murrays as well. And then obviously you got all the other guys, and it's quite interesting to have that within the group. Makes it definitely more interesting. And like we said, anyone could win this race and come out on top. And someone's lost the wind mirror there, and they're going straight into the pits.
That's
Tom. Get a new one.
Yeah, that's Tom Dell there.
Tom Dell, he's had a torrid time.
He has.
Park has not been his favourite at all.
I know he was in practice. He was setting consistent lap times.
I think he's got an actual issue, maybe a technical issue there. We'll find out.
The car seems to be chugging a lot, of banging and bumping along there. So we'll come back to him and see how long he's in the pits for. Because he seems to be, I think, by the looks of that car, he could be in there quite a while. Let's have a quick check-in let's have a look down the order, see who we haven't really spoken much about. Someone I haven't spoken about tonight is David Stewart.
David Stewart, the dark horse, David Stewart, car number 9.
He's one of the most consistent performers within the field, isn't he, Anthony?
Definitely, always at the top. The last race was absolutely fantastic. His defending ability was fantastic. And again, he's just consistent. He hits his apexes. He's fast where he has to be. And in this race, he's been quiet, but he's been doing his own little thing. And that's why he's so high up in the order. And again, he's called Mr. Consistency there, David Stewart, car number 9. Catching up to car number, I think that's 30, I believe, Stephen Cox.
He's just
Coxie
like,
there.
He's heading for the bit. No, it looks like the trouble is where the pit lane sits so indented in and almost on the racing line. A little bit like Art Interlagos, but rather
Sorry.
than being on the inside of Interlagos, where obviously the pit lane's on the inside, and you cut right across the racing line, cuts right across the inside. At Oran Park, it's right on the outside, but it can prove a little bit tricky if you've got someone coming into the pits in front of you, where it's such a short pit entrance where you have to pretty much come straight out the corner and slam on the brakes. So I'm amazed we haven't had any collisions in that last corner from people getting caught up by other people coming into the pits.
I think they've all been absolutely fantastic. It's been an absolute fantastic drive, and they've all done a fantastic job not to collide and smash and bang each other. So I'm really, really proud about that from all the drivers. They've done a really, really good show, and no one's got injured or hurt.
Oh, definitely. So we've got Stuart Williams there. He's got himself in a nice little pocket of clear space. He'll be looking to put down some quicker times. So that's car number 2. So he's got David Gill ahead of him there. I think Gill's a lap up on Williams currently. But so he'll be looking to just, use him as a brake marker, a bit of a reference. As Gill looks, he's going around the inside of, I'm not sure who that is there.
There's a few cars who have been a lap down by a few other cars as well. So obviously Murray is well ahead. There's a few cars who are 2 laps down, or possibly even 3 laps down at this stage. And there's cars just, it's a bit of a jumbled mess at the moment with cars going off, going into the pits. Like you say, it's just a short track. And we've got car number 7 there. Who's car number 7? Can't remember.
Car 7 is Clyde Davis.
He's been very, very quiet and efficient as well, just doing his stuff, staying out of trouble.
Definitely. Let's see how that battle between Wilson and Chris Sanderson's just ensuing. So it's Chris Rollins even, sorry. Getting my critics mixed up there, Anthony. And these two have just been sat behind one another for quite a few laps now. So I think
Chris Rollins is another one. He's again a nice steady job, making no mistakes, and again he's doing an absolutely fantastic job, being consistent, staying out of trouble, doing the right things, hitting the apexes, and his braking points.
Definitely. So we've got, I know that Wilson and Granberg, they're obviously 2 of the newer members of the community, and they'd never turned a wheel or even used a controller or played any form of racing game up until December, so just under three months ago. And it's amazing how quickly they've come in and not just adapted to racing in general, but sim racing and the challenges that iRacing brings. And they've both been relatively quick and near the top end of the field. There was an absolutely brilliant battle last time out between Cy and Josh, where they're on each other's tails for the whole race.
Yeah, Josh was a very quick driver, a bit erratic at times, but he is very, very quick. His 1 lap pace he'll probably beat anyone on a given day. Like you said, I think he'll get faster and faster as it goes along, and he will get that consistency. And I'm sure he'll do really, really well as we jump on board with him as he goes into turn 1 into man.
There we go. So
Chris
that's
Rollins behind him. Is that Chris there?
So we're riding with Chris currently, and I think that's Thomas Berling currently in front of him there. So he's all over the back end. Chris has got a brilliant view here. So I think Berling's a lap down.
Chris is ahead of them. Chris Rollins is ahead of them. So I don't think he was fighting for that position, so he's just let them go ahead while he just cruises around. As you can see, he's got more speed than them, but he has no worries. He's ahead of them by a lap, I believe.
Interesting to see. So we've got Berling up the inside of Wilson. Be interested to see whether Wilson, he seems to have dropped off the pace here. Be interested to see if he's attempting to fuel save to get himself home in 1 lap. So 1 stop.
It'd be impressive if he can do it, but it definitely can be done. He must have looked after those tyres.
We're now at the stage of the race, Anthony, where I think a few of the drivers will be trying to work out, can they get away, where are they in relation to the drivers around them? What are the tactics game comes in? It's almost a bit like a game of chess. Can they get away with 1 stopping? What are their competitors doing? Are they going to need to stop again? Have they already banked fuel and where they were saving in the first stint? so they can run a bit harder in the second stint. So it'd be interesting to see what the tactics now play out for the latter half of the race. As we've got Keith Sharp there.
It'd be very interesting.
So Sharp's coming through past them there, just working his way through. It's up to the back of Chris Rollins there. As Wilson, he's gone wide, and they're now going free abreast, coming into O'Brien's. Oh, this could end up... How have they got through there so cleanly?
Fantastic driving there. Fantastic.
I think Keith Sharp must have backed out a bit there. It's so risky running side by side with the car's so unstable as you go across the crest of the hill there.
It makes the car really wobble and swerve, and there's really no grip. Car number 13, that's Keith Sharp.
Yes, we've got right to the back of Wilson. We've had, obviously, Chris Rollins has now managed to get ahead of Wilson. That is for position, I believe. It's so tricky to overtake through this section where there's literally just one line through the track, isn't it, Anthony?
Yeah, he's battling him. Keith Sharp is battling Joshua, so this will be very interesting. And I think they're fighting for 8th and 9th, which is very, very interesting from Keith Sharp, who was fighting for first place. And this is, that crash, this is what has pushed him all the way back. And he's really trying to stick with Joshua as he is battling for, I believe, 8th and 9th place.
It's gone incredibly shallow there. Listen, but it looks like he might have got the move done. And can Keith Sharp follow Josh Wilson through here? On Wilson, he can't. It's so tricky where you've got such a short run. But great move there by Wilson up the inside. Got
Chris Rollins there. He's ahead of these guys by a lap. He's got to be careful that he doesn't get taken out by a back marker. So blue flags will be waving in front of Joshua, but there's nothing really he can do. He's fighting against Keith, so he's got to try and maintain his position. Head back onto the straight. Keith is really still behind him, but Chris Rollins has still got the pace and he's ahead of him.
Let's see what happens coming down into man corner. Yep, he's got up the inside. Looked like Rollins got out the power onto the brakes early there just to let him by nice and safely. Well, they're not battling for position, just sticking to his own races. We've got someone gone wide there. Hopefully Sharp doesn't get collected. No, little jinx and he's round him safely and lives to fight another day. It's so easy around here to get caught up by back markers coming at you. You've just had a spin or gone a bit wide, coming back onto the track.
Definitely, they have to be careful, keep their wits about them. And this time Keith was a lot sharper, considering his off that he had and his collection with Tom. Sharp by name, sharp by nature. Definitely so. So it's riding here with our race leader, Murray Luca. Just coming through Momo there, round O'Brien. He's just so smooth and calm and consistent, isn't he? It just seems like he's out for a walk in the park on a Sunday afternoon after a nice roast. Well, he can afford to do that. He's Tom and obviously Keith Sharp were up there with him, his competitors, and now they've been taken out by each other. That's just allowed him to enjoy the race, save obviously a bit of fuel saving. Be careful on his tyres, and obviously, hopefully, he can stay out of trouble. But we will see if he can do that as he comes around Man and going into Foster's Deep. And obviously, he's got to be very careful of Momo's corner. And then he's going to be going down O'Brien Aluminium Dogleg as we drive on board. Fantastic view, fantastic shot of the ground as well. As you can see, the marbles and the line, which has been created by all these fantastic Mazdas. As we go around to the last corner. Let's see what sort of exit. Brilliant line. Absolutely brilliant line. I think he's so far ahead now of Peter Jones in second place, I think it is now. And he's always got time to park up and, as we're in Australia, fire at the barbie and throw a few shrimp on there. Yeah, mate. Good day, mate. Excellent. He goes through here, absolutely. He's so fast around this track. Absolutely just glued. He's got the absolute car glued. As we see all the fans there watching, excited. They cheer him on. Fantastic view there as he goes over the blind crest onto the last corner, and he's got a few back markers to negotiate again.
Well, let's check in with the Wilson battle, see how he's getting on. And that seems to be hotting up. He's got Keith Sharp all over the gearbox of him there. Really close by. It's close right up coming out of Recaro there. But the trouble is with the Mazdas, you've got to get a really good launch out of Recaro corner, the last turn, to have any chance of overtaking down into turn one man. And Sharp just wasn't able to carry quite the momentum carrying out of it. So there's a little look up the inside, but he's a bit too far back to try and mount a challenge there.
Yeah, he's a little bit too far, but he's got to be really tidy around Momo's corner. And can he stay close to him in the dog leg corner as well? I'm not too sure. He is close enough, but again, it's the last corner. Can he make sure he's right up that gearbox to give him a massive scare? But I think Joshua is improved as a driver, and I think he can hold him off as we go on to the straight.
Yeah, it looks like from the lines, the tractor and the lap times that Wilson's putting in, looks like he's attempted to field save. Sharp has yet another, just shows his no on the inside, and Wilson's gone wide. This is Sharp's chance now, and it looks like he's through. Sharp's made the pass on Wilson. Just that tiny mistake and that one error of Wilson sending the car slightly wide, going a little bit too deep into turn one, and Sharp didn't need any other chance. That was it. He was straight in there, took his chance, and he's through, and he's pulled away now, as that looks like he's got Thomas Burling in front of him, who's already a lap down behind them. So it'd be interesting to see if can Sharp get ahead of him. To ride with Burling. Let's have a look at.
Burling's ahead. No, Burling's ahead. Burling's ahead.
He is, and here's Sharp behind.
Yeah. Oh, he's going for it.
So close.
Thomas can defend well. We know Thomas can defend well. He won't let this lie down easy. And that's a fantastic shot that we can see on the back of the gearbox of Thomas Burling's car. As Keith Sharp in the blue car, pushing hard as he can. Pressurised Thomas.
Getting really, really close by now.
Very close. He's very close.
Can he get the move done? It's all about the exit now for Sharp. Burling's done the corner extremely well. He's got a brilliant line through there. But Sharp seems to be revving up a bit. No, that's the maximum. Oh, no, he's taken up now. I didn't know sure whether he was attempting to fuel save as well. So
we can look at the dash there. He's
let's see if we can
see on his dash.
Let's have a look, see if we can get there. We go. The driver arty view.
He's got 38% there, 36%.
Yes, so he should be okay now to see him through to the end of the race. This is right up. He's literally nearly, you can see practically the gearbox of Thomas Burling ahead. But this will be interesting now. Sharp's got the run on him. Can he get it done now? Coming out down the pit straight.
He's very close. He's very close.
So he's got
the inside. He's got the inside. Burling's giving it up.
Got to be job done now for Keith Sharp. Hard on the brakes. Up the inside.
Burling's done the right thing there. Just let him go past.
Conceded the place.
Save his tyres.
So we've got Josh Wilson in the background there, and car number 8, which is Craig. He's on a bit of a recovery drive, Craig, unfortunately. Obviously, he's had numerous trips to the pits. Unfortunately, got took out early on by Granberg's incident down into turn 1 where she overcooked it, and he was just a completely innocent victim of Granberg outbraking himself there.
I think he's a couple of laps down and he's just trying to unlap himself.
Yes.
I think Joshua's going to allow him to go past.
Yeah.
There's no point fighting him.
I think Wilson's definitely got to be fuel saving to be able to. The way he's just let him through there. Yeah, you can tell by the engine note there that it's just not revving it out as full. Seems to be shifting up early. really gently on the throttle. So I think Wilson's definitely one of our drivers, Anthony, that's fuel saving in an attempt to try and get it home with one stop.
Will be a bit interesting if we can see that camera angle and see what he's got on his steering wheel. That'll give us a good indication of fantastic, we've got it. And again, it looks like it's 36, 35?
Yeah, 36% there. So it looks like he should be okay to get himself home, hopefully. It's just how he plays out the rest of the race now, and whether he manages to...
he's got similar fuel as Keith. And by his lap times, he's doing a 48. So if Keith was doing a 47, he really needs to turn that around. Who's that behind him?
That is... Let's have a look as they come back. So that's car number 34. Which...
That's 24.
Sorry, 24, sorry.
Peter Jones.
Oh, it's Peter Jones. He's coming round to lap Wilson.
He's coming to lap him.
I'm sure with Wilson fuel saving, he'll just concede the place. Got Chris Rollins behind them there as well. Hopefully be able to try and capitalise on that. Let's have a little look around some of the other drivers in the field, as Wilson still remains ahead there. We've got Timothy Cox here. He's out in a bit of clear air. We've got Wilson, the Wilson and Rollins battle going on behind him. So looks at things as well. By looking at his lap times there, Anthony, it looks like he's fuel saving as well. So there's quite a few drivers looking to fuel save.
Fuel saving. We're at this stage. We're going towards the last innings, and everyone's done their stops. We believe. A lot of them have done a one-stopper, and a few have done a 2 or 3 due to accidents. And we've got a couple who are doing 2 stops as well. So that's very interesting at the moment. Some of them are fuel saving. We definitely think Murray Luca is going to be fuel saving.
Yeah, so Murray's only taken the 1 pit stop so far, and he achieved his pit stop after half race distance. So I think he's safe to get home in 1 stop. Peter Jones, he's also on a 1 stop. Alan Leather, David Gill, Josh Wilson currently is as well. So we know about
Timothy Cox.
He's only on the 1 stop as well. Chris Sanderson, Paul Simmons. They are all the drivers who looks like they're going to be trying to eke this one out for a 1 stop. So it'd be interesting to see whether we have a bit of a flurry of activity right at the end of the race, with people having to do a splash and dash within the last couple of laps.
This is a real test of endurance from all the drivers, consistency, potentially 65 to 70 plus laps. And they're all really got to keep their mind tuned in, focused, making sure they hit the apexes, and they are really have to concentrate, especially if they're overtaking back markers, defending position, and they've all done a fantastic job so far. And it's going to be really interesting to see who can make it.
It will be. So Wilson's just managed to find himself in a bit of space now. Obviously, he was in a bit of trouble and getting swamped by people, as it looks like. Chris Rollins has managed to get ahead of him there off camera and headed up the field. Let's see if we can cut to a better angle of Rollins. Not quite close enough there to get past. So to Peter Jones, we've got car 38 who's spun off on the infield there.
Ian, his first mistake that we've seen.
It is. And then we've got... So, that's so unfortunate. Means he's driving a really nice, consistent race there. He'd be disappointed by that one.
Job. He has done a fantastic job, but maybe overdriving, tyres going. Again, it's endurance, and this is his first race. So, massive learning curve for him. And obviously, he'll only get better as the season goes on.
Talking of another driver who I'd be hoping for a much better second half for the future races in the season. Just concentrating on Stephen Cox here, someone who we haven't really mentioned up until now. He's had a bit more of a quieter race to an extent, but he's currently sitting on his three pit stops. And that right-hand mirror looking very bruised and battered, where I think that car's had a few little love taps with the wall on the exit of Recaro Corner in the last turn. And I know he was hoping for a bit more of a better result and finishing a bit higher up the table. There's a nice graze down the side, so it's more than a bit of a lub tap. It's more of a large scrape and grind along up there, coming out of that last corner that car's had there.
Oh, definitely.
There we go.
There, another one.
It's so tricky, obviously, with that last corner. He's heading to the pits there. So yet another pit stop for Cox. He'll be disappointed by that one. As we've got a few cars coming through now. So we've got Stephen Hilton again, someone who we haven't really mentioned. He just seems to have chipped away a bit at it.
Car number 37, Stephen Hilton, is it?
Stephen Hilton. It looks like he's had a bit of a incident there. I'm not sure what's happened. He's got a problem and he's headed to the pits, and that's another pit stop for him. So that's disappointing for him. So as we enter the last lap here, we've got Murray Lucker, we've got David Gill and Alan Lever all sort of tottling away for, Gill and Lever tottling away for position there.
Hard they are. They're battling hard.
Let's see if we've got a back mark as they come round the last corner. That's Peter Jones there. Oh, he's lost it. Alan Lever's lost it. He's collected. He's collected Peter Jones there by the looks of things. They now head up. And all of a sudden...
Damage at the front.
He's crawling along, and one to watch, I think, is Timothy Cox, who seems to be coming from nowhere. He's already past Lever, and he's making up positions where he was fuel sailing earlier. So they go ahead to the line. And looks like he's going to pit Jones. Jones.
Why is Peter pitted? The last lap.
The last lap.
Timothy Cox gets third place from 6.
So your top 3, we missed him go across the line, but we've got so much going on behind. Murray Lucker wins. We'll cut to him now. He is our race victor. Second place goes...
David Gill is in second place. Car number 2, Timothy Cox. Car number 32. And that means Peter Jones, who decided to go into the pits, is 24. So there's car number 19, Murray Lucker, crawling back. No petrol. Fantastic drive. What do you think, Coxie? How do you think he's done?
It's been an absolutely flawless race. Obviously, he got a little bit lucky early on. Obviously, with the incident between Sharp and Dell, but he just managed to. Him and Jones obviously Jones was more lucky of the two, but he just gave him that breathing space, and he pulled away from Jones consistently, bit by bit, every lap, and lapped the whole field in the end. Yeah, absolutely flawless drive.
He's crawling back.
He's completely off shot there. Literally, that car, I think, we'll try and get on board with him. I think that's going to be literally chugging along now.
Even chugging, it's going up the hill. It's going to stop. It's going to stop. You can't make it back.
That's literally how close. There we go. And it rolls backwards down the hill where he's literally got no fuel. But fantastic drive for him. Flawless drive from Murray Lucker there. Absolutely brilliant. And he's parked it where that's out of fuel now. But, wow. What a race.
What a race.
Filled with drama all the way there, Anthony. All the way right to the end.
So that's been Oran Park. Absolutely fantastic. The drivers were all a bit nervous about it, but they've done fairly well, do you think, Coxie?
We've had some absolutely brilliant results and stories up and down the field. We've had a few people who've lost out, and it's been unlucky for them where they've got caught up in other people's accidents. Obviously, you think of Dell, you think of Craig, where they've just been unfortunate at the wrong place at the wrong time. Timothy Cox as well on the opening lap, just off camera. We didn't manage to catch it. He had to come in together with Burling, where he was the one that came off less fortunate, unfortunately. But it just shows he drops all the way down to the back of the field and end up finishing in third. There'll be some people that are disappointed. Obviously, Paul Losto checked out quite early on with damage. He'll be disappointed with that result after feeling quite confident before the race. And wow, what a race! I just want to say again, thank you to trackcams22.com for their brilliant angles on board. Like I mentioned earlier, well worth going and checking them out. So I think sort of leaves us to say, Anthony, did you enjoy yourself tonight?
thoroughly enjoyed myself. Absolutely fast action. Lots of impacts onto the championship as well. And I'm looking forward to the next round.
Yeah, definitely hotting up, obviously, being at Orient, a nice, tight, fast track and full of a couple of technical, tricky corners. I'm sure we'll be experiencing more of the same stuff with lots of Mazdas on the field, going toe-to-toe, battling it out. But it just goes to show that it's so true with sim racing that the cars aren't real, but the racing definitely is. So I think it leaves us with that. That's us over and done with for tonight. Just to let you know, on Thursday, the 25th of February, you can join us on our Twitch channel. Just search UK iRacing to view our F3 League. There's some absolutely brilliant drivers in there, and there'll be really close racing. I know one or two from the Mazdas series racing in that as well. I hope you could join us at home for that. I hope you've enjoyed tonight. We certainly have. From myself and Anthony, we'll see you soon. Take care and goodbye.
Perfect.